All right, boys. Welcome back to the Campfire Podcast. Dude, I feel dizzy. I don't feel dizzy, but my eyes feel shut. Anyways, welcome back to the Campfire Podcast. If you're just finding us, my name is Riley. This is Festin. That's Isaiah. We do this thing. We try to do every week, but we haven't been here since September. So
me and Riley did leave.
Yeah. God has been doing
like
things.
7 weeks.
Yeah, God has been doing things in our lives. Isaiah and Riley have been following God's call to go to missions. I've been working a lot, and then Sandra's doing school. That's why he's not here. So hopefully we finish the year strong.
Yeah.
That's the dream. But today's topic is about friendships. So all my ideas come out of a sermon, and that's completely off the idea that I get from the sermon.
Cool though.
Yeah, I'm sitting in a sermon and I get an idea, but I'm like, this idea doesn't tie to anything that was preached that Sunday. But this is the
When was this idea?
this was
Not last week.
not last week. No, last week.
That one was about divorce.
Yeah, not last week, but like I think 3 weeks ago, maybe. I think it was the week you guys came back.
It was like ceremonial laws.
Yeah, it was something like that, and I'm like, oh, friendship.
Like
Let's talk.
miscellaneous laws.
Let's talk about friendship. So today, personally for myself, that's not good English, but personally, I at the beginning of the year said I want to invest more in my friendships and in my family and friends. So this was a soul searching. Was it soul searching, or was it just like a conviction for me? It was a conviction. It was a soul searching.
Yeah.
But this morning, like when I was putting my slide together, I'm using slides now. Look at me, it's organized.
You have PowerPoint slides?
Yeah, I have whatever Apple calls it. What Keynote?
Keynote?
Yeah. So I was putting out my presentation. I was like, one verse before we start, but this one verse had me almost in tears. But I was like, don't cry. So I didn't cry, but I was on the verge of crying. But today's topic is, what is a godly friendship? What does that look like? How can you be a good friend? And what are some things to look for when you're making good friends? So during COVID time, the famous phrase was "alone together." That was like the most confusing thing, but everybody rode with it. It's like, you're alone, but we're together.
We're together, we're all.
Yeah. So, and I feel like in this like social media era, a lot of young people don't really have friends. They just have like followers, or they just have friends on Instagram, but not like really, really good friends. So if it's not for you, sure. But I've also heard people that are older than us like say it's really hard to make friends when you're like old, when you're like, because you really don't have time to like make those new connections. So the friendships you have now, cherish them. So this is essentially that topic. Just what is a godly friendship? How can you be a godly friend to your friends, and how can you get those good friends? So any thoughts on what is a godly friend? I have my definition, but I want to hear you guys.
Do you want to read your verse first or no?
No, my verse ties into my definition. So.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
You want us to say what we think first?
Yeah.
About what a godly friend is.
Mm-hmm.
I think a godly friend is someone who sees the world the same way you do, who has the same morals that will come from the Bible. If they're following God and they're your friend, then that's what a godly friend is. Anything other than that, like you can have friends that are good friends, but maybe they don't believe the same thing as you. So I wouldn't call them like a godly friend.
Isaiah?
I think it's good to have friends with different opinions, though.
Yeah.
I think they can challenge, because if everyone thinks the same way and operates the same way, and no one challenges the way you think, like, you're not going to grow.
Yeah.
If everyone is always agreeing with you, oh yeah, I think the same thing. Because I've had conversations with both of you, and even Sander before, where like, I thought a certain way, and then someone said something that's like contradictory to what I say, and it makes me like think like, oh, I never even thought of that before.
Yeah. So here's what I got. What is a godly friendship? A godly friendship is a relationship centered on Christ, where both people love, encourage, correct, and support one another as they grow closer to God and fulfill His purpose for their lives. So the verse that hit me this morning was John 15:13. Says, "Greater love has no other than this, thou to lay down one's life for his friends." So I was thinking, I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Because sometimes I'm like, I don't have time for you guys. I just want to stay home and do my own thing. But like, people want to hang out. Like, that could be moments where I can be a good friend, reach out, like see things and like encourage, laugh, correct, or support people. But sometimes I'm just like, I just want to stay home. I really don't want to see you guys. You know, nothing against you guys. I'm just like,
Well, you have to see me at home.
I have to. Like, I have no other choice. But a godly friendship, like you guys have said, is someone who loves you enough to encourage you and correct you, but also loves you enough to support you. Like in those,
Even to call you out.
yeah,
I think like a true friend, like if you're doing something stupid or you're kind of like walking off the path, is going to be like, call you out whether it's going to be comfortable or not.
yeah. And I think the greatest friend we have is Jesus Christ, right? He laid down his life for us. And John 15:13 says, "Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends," right? That's something that hit me, is like laying down your life like for your friends. What does that mean? It means you deny yourself. Like there's times where I'm like, I don't want to do anything, I just want to be home, but that's what my flesh wants. But like, what if that's the moment my friends needs me the most? Or like, what if that's the moment I can go hang out with my friends and something comes up and I'm able to support, encourage, and to like replenish them in some ways.
Yeah, I don't think that the verse you just read is just referring to like dying for your friend.
No, I don't think so.
it's
Yeah.
Laying down like your time as going out of your way to do things that you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, because most of the time that I view this verse is like, oh, would I die for this person? Would I push them out of the way of a car and get hit by the car?
Jump in front of a bullet.
Like to die for them, or jump in front of a bullet, or you think of war, things like that. I think it does apply also to that, but in a more practical way. Like we can view this verse is your life is like your desires and how you spend your time. So are you going to lay down your life, what you want to do, to be a good friend? Because Jesus says, first he encourages them. He's like, abide in me, abide in my commandments. I love you. These are the things that I'm speaking to you so that you guys have joy. And then he says the greatest love is to lay down your life for your friends. And then he says to his, I think it's his disciples, he says, you are my friends if you do what I command you. So he's showing them the better way. And he's saying, like Jesus actually did die for them on the cross, but he also came down humbly as a man, like from being in heaven, from being in God's presence. He came humbly as a man, and he did lay down his life that he had in heaven. That didn't hold him back, but he gave up what he had to come down, to be with the people, to do both. He died for them, and he also just, he wasn't prideful or anything like that to hold him back from coming to earth.
I think it's cool too, because if you look way, in the future, all his disciples ended up dying for him.
Yeah.
But I was reading a sermon from Charles Spurgeon. He said on friendship, and one thing that he said, I don't want to say the whole thing because I was like, the guy is so much smarter than me, so I'll butcher it. But the essence of the quote was, life is enjoyable when you have great friends. So like, it's very good to make sure that you have great friends, and to make sure that you yourself are a great friend to your friends. Because I think we're very blessed, because we go to a church that has like really good examples of like people that are, like our parents that have friends that are great, and like we aspire to that. Like I want to be like this with my friends when I grow up, instead of just like, they're just acquaintances, we just see each other. But like the idea of laying down your life for your friends, right? We look at like David and Jonathan. Like Jonathan was the rightful heir to the throne, like right, he was Saul's son, but he knew God had appointed David to take that throne, and I was like, okay, I'm going to support you.
He had a valid reason to be upset.
Yeah, he had a valid reason to be upset, but he said, I'm going to lay down my desires to support you in what God has called you, and I'm gonna do everything to protect you. He stood up to his dad for his friend, and I think that's the essence of friendship. Is like there's loyalty, there's that there's sacrifice and protection, and they have a great friendship because they made that covenant before God and said, God be my witness, this and this. And if you read that story, you see like a guy that's trying so hard to connect with his friend, but also trying so hard to protect his friend and to honor God in that friendship and saying, I'm going to do whatever I can in my power to protect you. And I think that's one sense of a friendship, is like loyalty. Like when you're doing great, when you're not doing great, when you have a big belly, when you don't have a big belly, are your friends loyal to you because they got abs, like they work out one time and now they rub it in your face. So I think that's what friendship is. We've defined what it is, but then the next question then comes to, what are some like examples of like what is a godly friendship compared to a worldly friendship?
Well, we have 7 points that we're looking at that you came up with. And I think like number 2 is godly versus worldly friendships. 3 is biblical examples. 4, what makes a godly friendship. I think I was just reading over some verses in Proverbs, and I think what it talks about, it kind of hits all 3 of those points. In Proverbs 17:17, it says a friend loves at all times and a brother is born for adversity. So they're gonna love you through whatever you go through, no matter if it's good or bad. And if it gets hard, it says they're still gonna be there for you. Another verse talks about how a true friend is closer than a brother. There's Proverbs 24 and 25 that kind of talk about the differences between a godly friendship and a worldly friendship. It says, make no friends with an angry man and with a furious man do not go, lest you learn his ways and set a snare for your soul. So there's a fact that humans are easily influenced by the people they're around, and usually they're not always influenced in the best way. So what he's saying here is you need to be careful about who you spend your time with and who you choose as your friends, because those characteristics that they have, that's eventually going to rub off on you. And so he's saying if you're always hanging out with an angry man, then you're just going to be angry and you're going to learn his ways, and that's going to set like a trap for your soul. So I think it's important to be aware of the people that we have in our life, and not to give like the enemy or even give ourselves a chance to fall into something that we don't want to. If we're not with people who are godly all the time, which we're not always going to be surrounded by our church friends or our family. So when we do go out into the world, we need to be careful about those things. And then chapter 27 in Proverbs, pretty much the whole chapter is about friends, like what a friend is. It says iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. Then it kind of says a continual dripping on a very rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. So there's like all these different verses about friendship.
You just wanted to throw that one in.
Off on woman for
interjects there.
Yeah.
Goes back to the topic.
But then if Isaiah mentioned this already, but chapter 27 verses 5 and 6, it says open rebuke is better than love carefully concealed. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. So I didn't expect you to make eye contact. But when your friends rebuke you and it hurts, but they're doing it out of the right heart because maybe you're in the wrong, that's worth it. Rather than them just saying, oh,
you're so good.
I think you're so good and you're actually so right. So maybe you should just be angry at that person and hold a grudge, because you have the right to do it. Let's not read the Bible about that, but I think you have the right.
But what if your friend loves to be right?
I think that's how the world operates, though.
Yeah.
Like they're saying, if the person doesn't agree with you or if they're not there for you, then they don't matter.
Forget them.
Yeah. And I think
They go against you, then they shouldn't be your friend.
Then they're probably not. Because if they were your friend, they would just confirm
you-
everything you want to
They would affirm
do.
who you are.
yeah, they'll be like,
Right.
you deserve to be happy, girl. You deserve to all the happiness in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was seeing in Proverbs. That was pretty cool. Just looking at some verses and kind of tying those different points together about what a godly friendship is. Some examples in the Bible. You talked about David and Jonathan. We talked about Jesus and his disciples.
Yeah, we talked about Peter and Jesus. We talked about Peter and Paul.
I wanted to read Ecclesiastes 4.
It's always good. It's always good to pull out Ecclesiastes at any point. If you ever...
Ecclesiastes 4, verse 9. It says, 2 are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If
So you-
either of them falls down, one can help the other up.
Oh, make sure you laugh at them first before you pick them up, though. That's what...
But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up.
Couldn't you help them up if you're watching them?
I think it's saying if no one has a friend.
Yeah.
Oh, like that's a bummer.
I think it's saying if you see people that don't have close friends, like pity them.
Pity them.
Like someone's in a ditch, like, oh dang, dude, that sucks. Do you have any friends? No. All right, well,
I pity you.
I pity you. See you later.
That was verse 10. Verse 11 says, also, if 2 lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves. A cord of 3 stands, is not quickly broken.
Yeah. But I think, like, today's... You good, bro?
Sorry.
Well,
I think there's the thing they're saying, like, united we what? We stand,
Yeah.
divided we fall, right? So it's like...
That's on the 5.
Yeah, it's like whenever I can, if there's a show about animals, like especially predators, hunting, I'm gonna watch that show because I love seeing animals hunt.
Yeah.
And one of the things that comes out all the time is that they wait for that one animal to just like go by itself, and it's like this like the right time
they're
to
so
attack.
patient.
Yeah, they're so patient. Yeah, the prey on the alone, the isolated.
together.
Yeah, because they know they're stronger together. And the thing to learn about that in friendship is that, like the devil is waiting for you to like isolate yourself from your friends, because then nobody's gonna encourage you, nobody's gonna support you, nobody's there to call you out, and nobody's there to correct you and to just be there for you. It's like that's the right moment, right? I've heard someone say an idle mind is the devil's workshop, right? If you're just like sitting there by yourself, the devil's like, let me entertain you some funny thoughts, and then you start spiraling and start going crazy. And I think the importance of friendship in that instance, that they're there to support you. If you're down, they're there to lift you up. Like I just said, if you're cold, they're there to warm you up. Right?
Is that what Riley does?
He tries, but I try my best to give some
Never
distance.
that cold.
I try my best to give some
You just
distance.
do it because you want to.
Yes.
No, I never did.
I know it's not cold, but
But a godly friendship leads you closer to Christ. A worldly friendship leads you closer to yourself. That's the biggest distinction in a sense that, like we were talking about, is like your friends, like we said, all of us, we've had moments where I've had to call Isaiah out. I've had moments where I've had to call you out, and you have had moments. Okay, don't shake your head. That's strong. And
Never.
there's moments where you guys have called me out on something, and it hurts in the moment because I'm like, okay, how can you not see it from my standpoint? Like, are you stupid or something? And then I reflect on it.
Realization hit.
And then the realization is like, oh, I'm the fool in this stuff.
Yeah, we're right.
It's like that meme of like you're reading Proverbs and then you have so much in common with the fool the Proverbs is talking about. It's like you get that like correction from your friend and you're like, oh, right. Like Riley said, like there's been examples where like I have a thought and like I'm feeling a type of way about something, and Riley's like, well, okay, is that the right way to feel about this situation? And then it's back and forth between us. It's like, okay, but then it's like, okay, what about this? And it's like this, and it's like this, and then
Like a whole bunch of things, like trying to look at all the different scenarios or ways that you can look at it.
Yeah, and
How should you handle this?
the good thing in that is that I know Riley's not doing it to win the argument, although sometimes he wants to win the
It
argument.
does feel like that sometimes. Sometimes you feel like I'm not saying just for Riley. I mean,
No, but in the moment, it does feel like that sometimes.
You almost
It's like,
feel like-
they're just trying to win an argument. Don't they actually care?
Yeah.
They just want to make me look like a
And-
stupid person.
and sometimes though you do need that harshness.
Yeah.
it can be tricky to like read the scenario or
I
read
feel
the
like
room on that.
a lot of
but-
times, probably especially for guys more, it's almost like we've got like a blind rage where we're just kind of like
Yeah,
Yeah.
common sense because we have like this is what we think and nothing else matters.
yeah. And I think having those moments, like those hard moments of like a friend calling you out, like saying, well, you could forgive that person. I don't think you have the right to hold a grudge just because they hurt you. Or like moments where you're like, is that the right way to approach this situation? Are you looking at it from like, are you being humble in the situation? Just like, oh, you're right, bro. Yeah, go ahead and be mad, or go ahead and just don't do anything. I think being able to say, I love you, but you're wrong. I love you, but I think you're being stupid in this instance. I think it's a big thing. And I think, like I said, like a godly friend pushes you to grow closer to Christ in what they do, their words, their actions. Like if you see your friend following God and you're like around them, you're just like, what am I doing with my life, right?
And I would also like I feel like, especially like in the modern day, the world, you know, with their whole LGBTQ pride stuff. If we're not affirming that, then we hate the person.
Yeah,
Out of love, we're coming out and saying, we love you, but you're also sinning.
yeah. And I think that's important to say, hey, I love you. I'm not saying this to hurt you, but
Yeah.
this is the way I say it. It's like, I love you, but you're drinking poison right now.
We didn't care. If we did hate them, like, why would we?
Yeah.
And
I was thinking about this. I'm like people always say, "Oh, you're judging me," but I'm like, okay, if I saw you drinking poison, I'm like, hey, that poison is gonna kill you. Are you gonna say, "Oh, why are you judging me? I'm
Yeah.
just drinking my poison," or would you be like, "Oh, thank you very much. Like, I appreciate this." Yeah. So, what are you gonna say?
And if you are in that scenario where you see your friend going down the wrong way and you feel that you do need to say something because like their life doesn't line up with the way God wants us to live, if you do have to say something and you know it's going to hurt them, I would still say to be confident in what you're about to say because you love them. And because even the Bible tells us, I think somewhere in Corinthians, like if someone is a sinner and like in the church, but also living a life of sin, like just kind of like tell them, hey, I love you, but I can't be spending this time with you because I don't support your life that you're
Yeah.
living as a hypocrite. Like Kirk was just talking about that, about it was like some sisters, I think, and one of the sisters was living in like a bad relationship or a sinful relationship with her boyfriend. Like they were living together and they weren't married, but she was like going to church and a Christian, but in the sister who knew that she was doing something wrong, like she was encouraged by a pastor to actually live out that verse. And she told her that, like, I can't really have much to do with you because of what the Bible says. And
Yeah.
it hurt the other sister at first. Like she was angry, she was so upset, but then eventually, because she did that, she took that extreme step to tell her that, the shame started to creep in. And from that shame, it kind of opened up her heart and God was able to speak to her. And she realized like, oh, my sister, she really does love me. I am doing something wrong.
Yeah.
We need to get married. And that totally changed her life rather than just saying nothing, right? Because you can say nothing and watch them fail.
Yeah.
Or you can, kind of speak up on it and, oh, maybe I shouldn't, and then pipe down. But I think it's important to be confident in what the Bible actually says to do.
Yeah. And something I was talking about, like the morning day thing is like the biggest difference between a worldly friendship and a godly friendship is that a godly friend always wants to serve and love those around them. like they want to love you and serve you, and a worldly friend is just like, okay, what can I get from this relationship?
What can you do for me?
What can you do for
find
me?
a rich friend?
Well, that would also be nice. I thought you guys were a rich friend. I guess we just like.
That's just because we're American.
Yeah, so you guys were the Kardashians,
You're like,
all
yeah.
rich and stuff, but. Like you don't have to scroll that much on Instagram. I mean, you see someone complaining about the friend. Oh, my friend didn't come to my birthday. They didn't buy me a trip to Cabo because they don't love me. So I think I'm cutting them off, and that's like the biggest thing right now. Is like cutting off people because they're not like, oh, if the friendship doesn't serve you, then cut it off. It's like, okay, what does serving you mean? It's like, oh well. They didn't buy me gas. They didn't buy me food. I asked them for like stuff and they didn't give it to me. I'm not taking into consideration that they might not have what I'm asking, but it's just like, well, they didn't do what I wanted.
Think about it too. If everyone operates as me, and what can you do for me, and being selfish versus a Christian friendship where everyone's investing in each other, then you don't even really have to like worry about yourself because you know like my friend's got my back.
Yeah. And I think that's what we get from like looking at Ruthie and what's her friend's name? That Ruthie and Naomi, like the book of Naomi and like the book of
Ruth.
Ruth, right? The book of Ruth, yeah. It's like
gonna say
in Ruth 1:16, it says, "Wherever you go, I will go," and that's like what you're talking about. It's
I
like
think it was her mother-in-law, not her friend, but yeah.
He's friends with your mother-in-law. I'm friends
They're
with my
basically
mom.
friends. That's
My
friendship.
dad's my friend.
Right? Let's clip that. You should tell him that when you get home. Tell him thank you,
Yeah,
Dad, for being my friend. He missed that.
Yeah.
But it's like being there, like personally, like your presence to your friends, being there physically and being there emotionally, and having that commitment and that faithfulness to say, wherever you go, I will go. That's an example of like being there even after Naomi, right? She had lost her husband, right? But Ruth is like, I'll stay.
It's just Ruth. There's no E.
Whatever, bro.
He calls Bible people by their nicknames.
Yeah, that's like I gave her that nickname, but it says like wherever you like. Ruth says, Naomi, wherever you go, I'll go, right? And that's like our friendship is like, hey, you guys want to go camping? Sure, I'll go.
Yeah.
Even if I get it.
It's probably good you didn't come last time.
Yeah, you guys want to go camping? Yeah, sure, I'll go. Or you guys want to go pool hopping? Yeah, right, we'll go. Not Feston though, because he just wants to stay home.
movie?
Yeah. Want to watch Simon Birch? Yeah, let's do that. And like being compassionate and knowing like, oh, my friend is down. Like it's like in this instance, like someone that lost their husband, and you're there, and as a friend, like that's something like we see from Jesus. Like most of the times, he was just there for his friends. Like, hey, you guys about to capsize and drown? I'm here.
Well, think about when Lazarus died.
Yeah.
Right? He goes, and even though he knows I'm going to be able to raise this guy from the dead, he still mourns, still
hurt.
his sister.
Yeah. And like if Jesus cries, who is Feston not to cry? Anyways.
It's kind of a
But like those are like some examples of godly friendships, and like we're talking about like just because someone is not doing what you want them to do for you doesn't mean you have to cut them off. Are you like is that being a good friend? Is that you giving yourself up and saying, well, my needs at this point don't matter, but what can I do for you?
Yeah.
And expecting Jesus to fill your cup, and so you can fill other people's cups. Like Paul and Timothy. I mean, were they friends? Like, 'cause Paul is a little older than Timothy, but like that encouragement that. Like, cause Paul, like Timothy was an upcoming guy, right? He was coming up and like about to take Paul's place, and Paul was like, "Yo, you're a true son in faith."
Yeah.
Like supports him, even though it's like nowadays, be like, "You don't take my spotlight, bro." No, we can't be friends anymore because we can't share the spotlight. I have it myself.
town ain't big enough for the two of us.
Yeah,
It's not like it was all of Paul's people or Paul's churches. It was really just Jesus's people,
Yeah.
Jesus's church. So it'd be it'd be dumb for Paul to make that an issue. Like, you can't take over. Rather, but what Paul did
Is equips.
he really just helped him and led him through it.
Yeah, and I think that's like something that we can learn from. Is like, if your friend is being called to do something, it's not your place to be like, oh, but we have this thing going on, let's not go to Nepal, we can just stay here and do nothing. But if right, but if God calls them to something, you should be there to be able to encourage
Yeah.
them, to support them, because at the end of the day, the ultimate mission is that you're both just serving God. And if God calls Feston to go to Pakistan one day, it's, hey, why you guys are saying no, right?
I'm not saying no.
Right? So it's that, like, being able to encourage your friends, and like, this is, we're talking about from a standpoint of being a friend, but like, if you're also a friend to someone, like, if I'm a friend to Riley or Isaiah, I should be able to encourage them in love. I should be able to have compassion, and they should be able to do the same for me. And we're talking about telling your friends in love. And I think if you have friends that are scared to tell you the truth, I think you need you need what's that John Chris song?
Check your heart.
Check your heart. You need to check your heart. If your
Yeah.
friends are scared to tell you the truth when you're wrong, I think you should check your heart where you are in your friendships and see if that's a sincere friendship. Because friends should be able to say, hey, you're being dumb right now. It's just the truth,
Yeah.
right? You should be able to call your friends out and say, like, you should be able to encourage them and to stand with them, to be courageous enough to say, this is, you could look at
Yeah.
this way.
That's a red flag.
Yeah, like, we look at Daniel, like, the book of Daniel, we have Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, right? Like, they stuck together because they had a shared goal, there's a shared faith. Like,
And I think it makes them stronger too.
yeah,
As opposed to there being one standing alone, it's like all three of us
yeah.
standing together.
It's like, if Riley gets a buzz cut, then I think, me and Isaiah should just get
Got a
buzz
little
cuts
more
too.
Buzz cut.
Well, he has a hat on, so he can't see. But also being able to pray for your friends, right? Pray for your friends. Say, well, I see Riley's struggling. God, can you help him out?
I'll take it.
A lot of us picking on Riley today, isn't it?
Well, you don't know what he's been doing. So what are some qualities to look for in friends then, and how to be a good friend? Like, when we met, what are some things like, oh, I want to hang out with Isaiah more, except his cool hair.
I feel like the four of us, like including Sander, it kind of happened like supernaturally. Like it wasn't
Supernatural?
Naturally.
Oh, wow.
natural.
Very natural.
Oh, okay. Supernatural.
Maybe it
What?
was
Huh?
supernatural. I don't know.
Whoa, wow.
No, but like it wasn't like we tried. It just kind of like happened. You know what I mean?
Because I don't think any of us had tried hard. We don't even try that hard.
For us, I think what happened is we kind of just started doing things together.
Well, I think
like that was the first thing.
We think of the same way, a lot of us, and like we have the same opinions on things. So I think we just kind of click.
Yeah, it was like you were kind of talking about it, like, hey, do you want to go on a hike? Do you want to go to the beach? Do you want to go surf? When you start spending time with people doing those things, and then it was more surface level, and then as we started hanging out more, then you feel more comfortable with each other, and you start to ask deeper questions.
I was planning it, though.
Well, I think certain people can.
Deep down, I was like, I need to hang out with these homeschoolers, get them out of the house. So
You were helpful.
And now
with
we
that.
have to hang out and eat.
now you have to hang out with. But I was like, hey, do you guys want to go do a hike? Oh, yeah. And then I would go do something. Like, hey, Riley, I know you don't have many friends. Do you want to hang out with me and go to Yell Valley and look for this waterfall? Yeah, let's do that. Or let's do this. And like, in that time I was helping with the youth group, and you guys were in my small group. So I was like, how can I be?
Your small group.
Yeah, like I was like, how can I be intentional with these guys? So, because like I was tired of them coming to youth group on Friday and be like, how was your week? Good. So what do you do? Nothing. Like, oh my word, I'm public school and these guys are homeschooled. I'm like, how can I get these guys to talk? Well, God was like, well, eventually you have a podcast with them, but for right now, just hang out with them.
You back then?
Well, Proverbs 17:17. So we're getting into what are some qualities to look for in friends and how to be a good friend, right? So Proverbs 17:17. You have to be a loving friend, and it says, Proverbs 17 says, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. At all times. So you love at all times. Like, for me,
Did I rub off on you?
no, I was gonna say personally speaking, me, which is just
I say stuff like that all the time. You
well,
rub on me.
yeah, but I correct you sometimes, and then you're like, well, whatever, bro. But like, a friend loves at all time, and a brother is born in adversity. I think tough times bring people together than good times, right? Like when you and your friend are going, like your friend is going through something, and you're there for them. Like there's a bond that grows there.
You have to lean on them. You have to be vulnerable with them.
Yeah.
Shows they actually care, because you can be a friend if everything's going good and you're having fun, but then when you feel alone and your life is going
when the
bad,
hard times come.
and someone reaches out, then you think, whoa, they actually care.
Well, it's like you're saying, like when the hard times come, the people that stay there with you,
Yeah.
those are your actual friends.
All right, number 2, qualities look for in friends. Loyalty. Proverbs 18:24. What does it say, Riley? It says, a man who has friends must himself be friendly. I won't cut it there, but I'm tempted to just leave it right there. But
What version?
it says, but there's a friend who sticks closer than a brother. And I think, like, I have 2 brothers, right? But you guys are like my brothers because I've spent more time with you guys. I feel more closer to you guys. I trust you guys more than my 2 brothers. No, because I'm throwing shade at them, but it's just that I haven't spent much time with them. Like, we look at things, we've grown up differently, and we look at things differently. I have similar things that I look at with you guys. And I think a friend has to be loyal, they have to be loving. Proverbs 27:17, right? What does it say?
It says, as iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend.
So that's what we're talking about, like being able to sharpen your friend and say, how was the message today? What do you think? Oh man, I was just falling asleep, or I was just like thinking about steak that I was gonna make later. And being able to call them out and say, hey, sharpen them, you know? And then what does Proverbs 27:6 say? You're already there, so I'll just make you read.
Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful.
Right, so that's what Riley talked about in the beginning of like your friends just butt kissing you. It's so great. Oh man, you can't do anything wrong. You deserve all the happiness. Like you're always right. Whatever you do, you can't do no wrong. It's like you see those friends on Instagram hyping each other up like, hey, but that's my friend, bro, can't do no wrong. Like, nah, sometimes you just have to tell them the truth. Like I think Proverbs like a good place to look for as a young person. It's like it's just straight up like Instagram like videos, Instagram quotes right there. Just like you can just get them straight from Proverbs. Like in Proverbs 12:26, it says, "The righteous should choose his friends carefully, for the way of the wicked leads them astray." Right? Is wise counselor. Your friends have to be. You have to be careful in choosing friends. Just like not everybody who's like, oh wow, I follow you on Instagram. Oh, you're my friend. Not everybody was like, oh, wow, try my steak, is your friend. It could be laced with some stuff in there. You never know. But, like, you have to choose your friends wisely. And Isaiah read from Ecclesiastes. Which one did you read from? 6?
Ecclesiastes 4.
4? Verse 9. So, like, here it is talked about, like, being supportive in hard times with your friends and, like, just letting them know you're there, being able to pray for them. I was reading about like someone wrote an article on friendship. It's like there were times where like I was in the hospital and my friends were like taking care of like my animals at home, like bringing me food and like coming to my house to help me clean, and like those were like little moments that mattered to me. But my friends were just doing it out of love, and that's like this friend was in a hard time, and they're like in the hospital. But the friends were like, how can we be there for them? And that's what friendship is ultimately all about. Like, how can you be there for your friends? Instead of expecting like, well, I was there last time for you and you have to show up then, right? I don't think that's what friendship is, but friendship is being supportive in those hard times and being there for your friends and saying, I'm here if you want to talk about it. Like an example, me and Riley, we approach things differently. Sometimes Riley just wants to talk about things right there and then. I'm like, no, I don't want to talk about them, but I'm here for you. Right, and we've come to a place where he knows like we don't resolve issues the same way. It's like,
no.
But that's something we had to communicate and had to like tell each other, like, hey, you do things differently, I do things differently. Doesn't mean we can't coexist, right? We're living in the same house now, so we have to coexist eventually, right? John 15:13, like what's another quality you can look for in friends is, I already read that, but in verse 13 it says, greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends, right? It's you're being sacrificial, like you guys are talking about, like, okay, right now I want to do this, but my friends want to do this. These are my friends, I have to be there for them. But this is something Riley enjoys. I don't enjoy it that much, but doesn't mean I can't be there for them.
Compromises, right?
Yeah, like, Isaiah likes to do these things. Doesn't mean I enjoy doing them, but doesn't mean I can't enjoy just being there for Isaiah and sharing that moment with Isaiah. Colossians 3:13, Riley, can you find it? Are you ready to check out already?
Keep going.
I love Colossians 3.
Wow.
Was that sarcasm or was that?
No, he loves it so much.
No, that's one of my...
13.
Okay. Therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, put on tender mercies, kindness, humility, meekness, long-suffering, bearing with one another and forgiving one another. If anyone has a complaint against another, even as Christ forgave you, so you must also do.
And I think that's a big part of friendship, being able to forgive. Like, that's the biggest part of friendship. Is like, because your friends are going to rub you off the wrong way. Like we're talking about, like, there's moments where you have to tell your friend something. You might not have said it. You might have meant it in the right, like, from the, like, a good place. But your choice of words were not great. And now your friend is done with that situation. And now they're just mad at you for being mean or for being too harsh with your words. But being able to be gracious and forgiving and say, to be able to look at things from their standpoint. So where are they coming from? Do they hate me, or are they just like, this was just their choice of words? Does that mean like you can't? So like being able to forgive, like you said, having that tender mercy, like having a tender heart to just be like, Pastor Kirk talks about it all the time. It's like just being able, like he talks about, he says now that he's like getting old, like he forgets stuff, so it's good for him because he's like, oh, you did that? I don't even remember you did that. So I forgive and I forgot about it, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, if you, like, you know, the world says forgive but don't ever forget. Like, are you really forgiving the person if you're never going to forget what they did?
It's like, oh, forgive, never forget though. I forgave you, but I never forgot what you did.
Like, you forgive them, but you're also going to hold a grudge against them.
Yeah. So like being able to forgive and be gracious with your time, with your words and everything that you have, and being able to say, I'm not perfect, neither is my friend. So we're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna say things the wrong way, but ultimately we're gonna forgive each other. Like you read, it's like Jesus forgave you, so you also forgive. That's like, it's not like a suggestion, it's a command. I forgive, so you can forgive. So it's the same thing, like Jesus forgave us in the same way that our friends didn't wrong us the same way. Like,
well, it's like the parable that he says about the slave who owes the king like so much money, and the king says, I'll forgive you for this, like I'll pardon you, like you don't owe me anything. And then the slave turns around and starts beating somebody else. You owe me like a little bit. Like, give it to me now.
Yeah, where's my $20?
Throw you in prison now until you give it to me.
oh yeah,
You know, God.
You've never borrowed money from Riley, then?
Yeah, ever. Like, eternal separation.
You borrowed money and I didn't even know it.
Well, did I?
All of a
borrow?
sudden, 250s showed up. I was like, where did I get these? These are awesome. Oh, I had to borrow $100. 250s.
And then I gave you 250s. I borrowed.
My favorite bills.
Do you charge interest, Riley?
Oh, the Bible says not do it.
He doesn't even charge tax when he uses money. But if we go to our last like quality I want to look at for like qualities to look for in a good friend is in 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Right, just gonna read it, and then
Therefore, comfort each other and edify one another, just as you also are doing.
Yeah, and I think like we've already talked about this. It's like being an encouraging, spiritual encouraging. You're just like, oh yeah, you can lift that 250-pound weight. Like it's like spiritually say, hey, like I was praying today and God put this on my heart for you. Like I know that can be twisted in a lot of places. People are like, God put this on my heart for you.
Yeah.
And God is kind of telling me you're not doing great right now, and you need to be a better friend to me. That's what I always say. Like being encouraging from a pure heart and a good conscience. And then lastly, we're gonna look at what are some red flags in friendships and relationships. We're just talking about friendships right now. We've already talked.
This is the time to call each other out. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Just all the opposite of what you said.
Yeah. Drama and division.
Yeah.
Something-
Not encouraging.
Not encouraging.
I like that quote. A godly friendship leads you to Christ. A worldly friendship just leads you to yourself.
Yeah. So Proverbs 16. Woo. Proverbs is so great. It's just like every verse is just like, that's me. Proverbs 16:28. The fool he's talking about. A perverse man sows strife, and a whisperer separates the best of friends. Whisperers, you separate best of friends. But I think in friendships, there's times where you might hear something, and you're like, oh, wow, they meant it that way. That means they said it. But you just heard rumors, but you're like, well, that means they meant it or they said it, because why would people tell me that? But we've talked about, it's like the Bible always talks about the lion just wandering around, just waiting for that one person to devour, and it could be just you, like the devil, like the lion is just sowing seeds of separation between you and your friend, saying, well, your friend said this, your friend did that, what are you gonna do about it? It's like, you're gonna let them talk to you like that? You're gonna let them take your steak, or you're gonna let them do that to you? You're gonna those are some red flags to look for in friends. Proverbs 20:19. You can just go through Proverbs if you wanna. If you don't wanna listen to this podcast, just read Proverbs. You'll be fine. If you don't wanna listen to this episode, just read Proverbs. Proverbs 20. Verse 19 says, he who goes about as a talebearer reveals secrets. Therefore, do not associate with one who flatters with his lips. Right? That's what we talked about in the beginning, like gossip and like betrayal. Betraying each other in friendship is not good. Like gossiping about each other in friendship is not good. Proverbs 25:19. Just gonna run through this, and then we'll close out this episode. But Proverbs 25:19 says, confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a bad tooth and a foot out of a joint.
What?
Proverbs 25:19, bro, read it. Read it out loud.
Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a bad tooth and a foot out of joint. It does say that.
What do you think? I was making it up?
Sounded like it for a second.
The Bible according to Feston.
But like we're talking about like unreliable like friends that are not faithful. It's like you like a bad tooth when you're eating like a tough steak. You're eating like
and your tooth cracks.
Yeah, and then just like a foot out of a joint, and you're trying to stand up. That's like trusting your foot that's not there, and you're like, I'm gonna stand up on this. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Riley, do you want to read that? 1 Corinthians 15:13.
But if there's no resurrection of the dead, then Christ is not risen. 1 Corinthians 15:13?
15:33, I meant.
Oh. Do not be deceived. Evil company corrupts good habits.
Right, so these are things we've already talked about in this episode, but like these are like one time we had a comment of like, oh, these are all good points, but where's the biblical like backing of this? So I'm just doing this so we're not just like preaching to you our own thoughts, because I know we would love to do that, but we're just gonna use the Bible and like just talking about like friends that encourage you to sin, friends that don't call out your sin, don't. Those are red flags. Those are bad friends to be around. Like friends that are like, oh, you're sinning right now, but hey, go ahead, bro. You do you. You know what Isaiah said to that? I'm not gonna say it on camera, but I'll tell you later if you ask me. It's like I told him one time, you do you, bro. And what he said next will surprise you. Proverbs 22, verse 24 to 25. Ooh, this one is a good one for Isaiah. It says...
You want me to read it?
He's got the angers. Yeah, read it. 24 to 25.
Make no friendship with a man given to anger, lest you learn his ways and entangle yourself in a snare.
Right? Isaiah has knives. And one time, I was leaning in his ways and I cut myself with his knife.
Oh, you tried to stab me.
Okay, Isaiah. Sure. Philippians 2:4. Use your phone, bro. Get there fast. Ooh, look at him. He's one of those Christians that use the Bible. They don't...
Let each of you look out not only for his own interest, but also for the interest of others.
So these are things we've talked about already, but like good friends are not selfish, right? Like it's a red flag to like I said, we go through an amazing church where we get like good teaching. And like last week, the thing that was being talked about is like marriage and like the thing of like divorce and like I was talking about, and like it's like marriage is like a perfect. We've never been married. We're not married, but like marriage is a perfect example of looking at God's intention with His people, right? So it's like not looking out for your own desires, right? Like people, like our parents talk about, it's like the idea of like love is sacrificial, and their relationship, like I didn't like doing that, but then my wife liked doing that, and now I'm into it. Or I didn't like doing that, and now my husband liked it, and like you're sacrificing, denying your own flesh, and giving up what you like to do for your friends and for your. And then I'll just give you the last verses. Just go to Proverbs, guys. Proverbs 29:5, Proverbs 26:24-26, and then Hebrews 12, verse 15, and it talks about unforgiving friends, and then there's foolish lifestyle in Proverbs 13:12, and then Proverbs 11:12 talks about the same 11:2. So all this to say is that I think when you have great friends, life is enjoyable. When you have bad friends, life is enjoyable until they leave you because you're not serving them anymore. And the point of this episode is just like, be a good friend, encourage those people around you, and just try the best you can to bring them closer to God, and also hold them accountable, right? Like, hey, this is not good advice, right? You see, this is a job. It's like, hey, you guys, giving me great advice, but what are you guys saying? I know, right? Just Job was like, I know what I did. I didn't do anything wrong, and you guys are just out here accusing me. And now look at me. God is telling me things, and I'm just like, well, God, I have no answer for that because I got stupid friends that came in their private jets, and now they're just encouraging me.
I'll tell you what you did wrong.
Yeah, right. So, we talked about being prideful and teachable. Like, if you have friends that don't listen to correction, then just pray for them. I'm not saying abandon them, but pray for them and say, hey, I'm going to pray for that pride to get off of you, and so they can be teachable. And you also have to be teachable and unprideful, that you're willing to say, maybe I was wrong, maybe I am in the wrong in this situation, and to be able to accept the responsibility. As always, my name is Riley. This is Festen.
I'm Sander.
That's Sander. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in. Always hit that like button, please, and if you can, subscribe to the channel. We're not annoying. We won't tell you anything until